Welcome. Now, in this module, we're going to examine the reasons and the causes that can result in a failure of the Information Security Transformation Program. Now, the Information Security Transformation Program has immense importance for the organization, and it's supposed to change the fortunes of information security for the organization. The likelihood of failure of the Information Security Program or the project itself is very much there. And any project, if it is not properly strategized, structured, implemented, executed, monitored, it would have a very high likelihood of failing. Now, the transformation program should be orchestrated and led by a senior person, either in IT or in information security or in the management. And the reason for that is that senior people who have run many projects before are able to assess beforehand and are able to look at the organization and they are able to look at what needs to be done and are able to ensure that the project has the right variables and has the right settings so that the project will succeed. Moreover, experienced project managers and technical project implementers, be it of information security or any technology domain, with experience, they are able to build up this capability that they can look at a project, they can look at the environment and the gaps in the environment, and those would be of information security in this case, and they are able to look at the project structure before the project begins and able to tell that this project will succeed or fail. Now, our organization, which is Delta Tech, now because we perform consulting repeatedly for a number of clients all over the industry, we are able to, we have gained enough experience as consultants to look at projects and structure them properly and build in the right components and the right structure and the right flow and the right elements in the security transformation program so that the project will in fact succeed. Now, let us examine the reasons for proposing a security transformation in the first place. Why do we want a security transformation? This is for information security, in order to catch up with information security, because information security in Pakistan, and as may happen in other countries, is almost one generation behind. So IT and information security started together, let's say 10 years ago, and IT progressed and matured, but information security is still standing in the same place because no real effort was put in. And then it's arduous or difficult to catch up with information security posture unless there's a transformation, because now information security has been left behind. So here are 4 steps or 4 points really, in order to, with which you can almost say that failure of the information security program would be guaranteed if you do one or all of these 4 activities that are listed here. The first one is cosmetic commitment of management. It's not a deep commitment, it's not a real commitment, it's a very superficial type of cosmetic commitment. The second one is not willing to invest in resources, not being able to or not being willing to spend the money. The third one is deficient program structure and strategy, because you haven't aligned the strategy and the resources and the work that needs to be done, and it's not streamlined in an effective program. The fourth one is lack of effective project management. Let's look at each one individually. Cosmetic commitment. This is a very common problem. Now, the information security transformation will never happen if there is no commitment by the higher management, and that is always the fundamental step that needs to be there in the organization. The top management, the executive leadership needs to have the commitment, and not just any commitment. They need to have a very strong commitment, and they need to ensure that this happens in the organization. And the reason for that is that they are the ones who are going to allocate the resources. And they are frankly the ones who are able to drive the organization to deliver in any area, be it information security or any other area. So lack of awareness and understanding is usually the reason behind a cosmetic commitment. A short-term vision very much contributes to that. And short-term vision can mean that the leadership or the management doesn't have a long-term commitment towards the organization. Perhaps they want to sell the organization. Perhaps it's a loss-making organization. Perhaps they are not giving enough time and don't understand the real reasons or the environment in which the organization is functioning, or the risks that the organization faces. It could be a lack of priority. The management is doing so many things and it's not in their visibility what the challenges are, and they don't care, frankly. It's not a priority. So if the management commitment is not concerned, it's not a priority, it's not in their visibility, they're not aware, then obviously it will result in a cosmetic and a superficial commitment. And it could be a poorly managed organization as well. The executive leadership or the senior management could just be plain managed by incompetent professionals, or professionals who lack the competence. The second reason is not willing to invest in the resources, not willing to put out the money. So deficient allocation of funds for information security program is always going to lead to failure. Not willing to ask IT or drive IT to allocate time and spend time for information security, because the owner of IT is always information technology team. Information security is only going to advise IT and orchestrate how to run the program, but information security almost never touches the IT assets, never touches the servers, never touches the network resources, but only guides and supports and enables IT so that IT can do its job and secure and configure the IT assets appropriately. And then it could be that it's a loss-making organization, the money simply isn't there. And the information security professional needs to be aware of these issues as well. So if it's a loss-making organization, or the management does not regard information security a priority, it's never going to happen. And information security professionals need to be realistic. It could be a deficient program structure. So ineffective information security management committee, the one that's going to run the day-to-day activities, if that is not, if you don't pick the right people to put in that team, then your day-to-day work is going to be suffering. Not taking along other stakeholders, not taking along everybody, the absence of leadership, trying to run it as a very closed program, that isn't going to work. You have to take along all the stakeholders. You have to have transparent visibility and allow everybody to come in and contribute, and even to come in and criticize, even to come in and suggest improvements. Inexperienced IT or security leadership. So this such a transformation in that is going to change the entire organization requires a lot of maturity and the willingness to work with people, to take people along. So if there is inexperienced IT or security leadership or immature leadership, it's not going to work. The security heads and the IT heads need to have a lot of maturity and transparency to run this program successfully. And then the IT team, if it's not incentivized, you see, IT is always very busy, as we've discussed before. If you don't incentivize them, then it's not going to work. And typically what we recommend is that 40% for 1 year, 40% of the appraisal and the bonus and the increment and the salary increment of IT team, the core team members involved in this project, should be linked to the information security transformation program. Lack of effective project management, it's always going to be a reason. If you don't, this is a lot of work, and if you don't organize it, if you don't structure it, if you don't give the visibility, if you don't give the effective reporting, don't have the dashboards which are shared and everybody is able to see, and you don't create an element of competition, red lights and green lights, the network team did a great job, the system team is behind, green light for the network team, orange light for the systems team. If you don't create that visibility and internal competition and create the sense in the team that this report is going to go at the end of the month to the steering committee and it's going to make all of us look bad, that type of visibility is required. And effective planning, execution, monitoring, and reporting, always it can make any project succeed or fail. And then you need the experience and domain knowledge, obviously. If you're not good at what you're doing and you don't have sufficient knowledge, then you don't get the credibility. So the conclusion is the information security transformation requires a tremendous amount of hard work, and it's not possible without commitment, the right strategy, the correct structure, and effective execution to make the information security transformation program succeed. And otherwise, it will be a failure, and that's a big loss to the information security ecosystem, industry, to the players. Thank you very much. That's all that we have for this module.